I think we are live. Hi, Al Ingalls here with Pressure Free Living and coming in hot here to talk about one of my favorite topics, vision. This is a topic that I work on really intensely and intently with my clients. And today what I want to talk about are 3 reasons why it may be hard for you to set goals, to create a vision for your life, to even vision or plan. Like you just feel really stuck about it. I want to give you 3 reasons why and then give you a breakthrough today. Hopefully a big breakthrough on why it is you have trouble visualizing or feeling what your life could be like. I'm bringing this forward because so many times when I start coaching my clients, they have a really hard time sharing what they want in life. I'll ask them, like, what do you really want? And they can't even tell me because the stress response has such a grip on them. So that is number one. If you're having trouble envisioning your future or planning or goal setting, the number one reason is that you've triggered the fight or flight stress response. And I want to share a little bit about why that is the number one reason. When we trigger fight or flight, we actually depower a lot of our functioning, our cognitive functioning, our planning ability. So there's areas of the brain that you need to be able to execute and create in your mind what you want going forward. So your executive function here, your decision-making ability is impaired. You have 2 areas for willpower too. Those are both impaired when you trigger fight or flight. So basically this whole outer brain and your hippocampus in the back, your thinking and remembering ability actually is so shut down, it's almost impossible to think about the future. There's many studies. One recently was, I think it came out in the Harvard Business Review a few months ago, about how difficult it can be for business owners, entrepreneurs, CEO leaders to be able to vision into the future if they've triggered fight or flight, if they're in the stress response. Actually, they don't even use those words. I use those words. They'll just say if they're stressed or burned out. So that's the first thing. You need your brain to be fully activated in order for you to do this kind of work, to really create a vision for your life. Be creative. The second thing that I see often is that we hit something that I refer to as the glass ceiling. We have a glass ceiling on many aspects of our lives. I'm going to talk about this glass ceiling in terms of you being able to create your life. We have this glass ceiling for a lot of reasons. If you've ever read the book, The Big Leap by Dr. Gay Hendricks, I highly recommend it. He calls this the upper limit problem. I refer to it as a glass ceiling because I don't like the word problem. And I want you to break through. I want you to break through the glass ceiling. Why do we have this glass ceiling? It started when you were little. When you were little, all of us got some kind of message on this continuum of this. You start to reach for something and you got a message. If someone didn't want you to have this or touch it, maybe it's hot, you got a message, no, 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 baby, no, you can't have that. And you got that message so much, or maybe it was a hard slap in a pull. No, no, and you got yelled at when you were little. It doesn't really matter where it falls on the continuum, a gentle pull away or a harsh yell and a pull. All of it came, in your brain, the same thing happened. You were reaching for something and you were told, no, you can't have it. So then you heard that message so many times in your head that you get to become a young adult or an adult. You're making decisions for yourself. But as you start to make these decisions and you start to try to vision and create something, there's this little voice in your head that says, no, no, you can't have it. We have to break through that glass ceiling. And if you trigger the stress response on top of it, you're doubly blocked, if that makes sense. Like you're blocked by the voices in your head and you're blocked by your physiology. The physiology of the stress response is going to block you too. The third thing that I see often with myself, with my clients, is that someone of influence in your life has told you you couldn't do it. So you had a plan or an idea in the past, and when you brought it forward, someone that you really admire or you trust their advice, and they say to you, no, I don't really think you should do that. I don't think it's a very good idea. You get shut down. So if you get shut down enough, it's kind of like the same pull away when you were a baby, but now you're adult, you've got ideas. If you get shut down enough, then you won't even be able to envision forward. You're like, I guess I can't do that. I guess it's not possible for me. And you fall short of your full potential. So those are the three things, three of many things, but three main things that I've seen in my coaching that really hold people back from creating their vision. So how are we going to break through? If you follow me, the first step is to not trigger that stress response. So I want you to be diligent from this moment till the rest of your day, whatever time zone you're in, wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on the replay, from this moment until your head hits the pillow, I want you to be really vigilant about looking out for any tensions in your body, anything that causes you to feel tense, anything that causes you to start to go negative in your thought process, any feelings like these: angry or annoyed, anxious or afraid, ashamed, and anytime you're tempted to argue. Those A emotions that I talk about, anything that makes you feel any of those is a trigger. Take a look and really observe your triggers from this point forward till your head hits the pillow. If you can go this whole time and not overreact to any of those triggers and not trigger the fight or flight stress response by keeping your heart rate lower, when your head hits the pillow and you actually get to sleep, hopefully you will. If you triggered early in the day already, it might be hard because that's number one cause of sleeplessness, fight or flight stress hormones. So let's assume you get to sleep well. In the morning, you will have had enough time that your brain is finally getting a little clear of these stress hormones, because it takes hours before we can dissipate stress hormones out of our cells. It takes hours for the whole process of fight or flight to go down. You may feel better a little bit later, but what's going on at the cellular level, that's what I really care about. So we got to get a nice chunk of time. For males, you want to get about 9 hours where you're totally clean. You haven't released these stress hormones. For females, it's up to 24 hours. So we have to work harder. We have to work harder, women, unfortunately. That's why it's hugely important that you learn the pressure-free method so that you can be all that you can be, if you remember that commercial from the past. So I want you to really work on that so you can hit the reset button, wake up with more energy, wake up with more clarity, and then see if you can start to vision a little bit about your future, even what's going to happen in the day or what you might do within the week. Stretch it out. I get my clients to dream really big. Like if there's nothing holding you back, what is possible, right? So that will be so helpful. That's the first tip I want to give you. The second tip is I want you to really listen to the voices in your head, especially the negative voice. And when it starts to come in, notice if it's first person singular or second person singular, even third person singular. So it could be, I need to, or I can't do that. You might say something negative like, well, I just can't do that. Or the voice might go, who do you think you are? You can't do that. So it's using second person. Or third, you'll use your name. Elle, you're so stupid. This just is never going to happen for you. It's like you're talking to yourself, right? With your now, if that voice starts to come in, I want you to flip the switch. That is one of my tools in Pressure Free. And ask yourself an empowering question. How can I solve this? How can I accomplish this? How can I envision this? What can I do to envision this project? What can I do to create vision in my life? What can I do to have more creativity? What can I or how can I question? The moment you ask one of those questions, you can start to create a breakthrough because your amazing brain is going to want to answer that question. Does that make sense? I think it's so cool. It's a favorite tool of a lot of my clients, this flip the switch idea. And I use my hand like this to like flip a switch on my head, because if you use a body motion, as an adult, it's one of the fastest ways to create new neural pathways and start to create a new habit really, really fast. So if you like fast, I like fast. I'm a fast action chick. My husband used to call me the action chick. Like, I want to get it done and I want to move forward and I want to create amazing things. If that's you, if you're a high achiever type A, then this coaching is ideal for you because you don't want to wait. You've waited too long already. I've waited way too long to bring pressure free to the world. 12 years I've been coaching. And it's got to go faster. It's got to go to more people. So I'm working on that, you guys. You can help me too. So flip the switch, ask the empowering question. I always smile too to keep dopamine flowing. Dopamine will allow this amazing brain of yours to work even better. Not a lot of dopamine, just a little bit of dopamine. And then the other thing I do when I do this motion like this and I smile, I ask that question, how can I? What can I? That's going to get the wheels turning in you because your brain wants to answer that question. Now here's the real secret sauce. Don't try to answer it. Don't force to your empowering questions. Let these answers kind of simmer in you. Let them bubble up because you will be amazed at what kind of organic answers you get. You'll get so resourceful. You'll think of people that can help you. You'll think of places to go. You'll grab your phone and all of a sudden you'll start like you want to know. You're getting into that. So these are some things you can do in order to free this amazing brain of yours up so that you can start to vision your future. I was working with a client the other day who just can't believe what Pressure Free is doing in his life. Like it has been such a game changer. And he's now envisioning things he never even dreamed would be possible for him. That's because when you're caught up in the stress response, in hours and hours of these stress hormone releases, you can't go there. And that's why so many people feel stuck. And if that's you, I mean, so many people feel stuck and I feel so horrible about it because like that's suffering that doesn't need to happen. I want to end today with a little story because it's about vision. So 2 years ago, my youngest son had a vision of creating a 5K fun run, a race that Ingalls Pictures would sponsor. So Ingalls Pictures is my son's company. And the youngest son, who is not a partner yet, okay, older two of the partners, he brought this project forward and said, I want to create a fun run. He envisioned the whole thing. He saw exactly what he wanted to have happen. And once you have that vision, all of the steps can start to fall into place. The vision comes first. So he had this vision of this thing, this race that would be really fun, a great time. And we did the first one last year. And he set up everything in motion. All of us other people got the list of what we needed to do. I'm the person that directs people on the course. And I also direct people into the correct parking lot at Millennial Park because it is a little confusing. That's my role, right? And what anybody needs to bring or whatever. And so we just had number 2 today. And this year it was a Halloween theme. Still have a little Halloween makeup. I usually don't wear like all this eyeshadow and stuff. So yeah, we had our second one. It was a Halloween fun one. I was a Nordic skater from the past was my costume. And so everybody dressed up and he had friends from all over the country fly in or drive in. A couple of them drove from New York with us this week to come to this event. And then they're all going to fly out after the weekend. And let me see, how many were there? I think there's like 10 of them. It's just crazy that all these friends would come and support him. And then we had like Ingalls Pictures accountants brought their whole team. We had so many interesting people, family. We had family, the Milanowski family came. It was fantastic. So that started with a vision. Now we have year 2 down. I can't wait to see what year 3 is going to be. We doubled the number of people who participated from last year. That's pretty neat. So what is your vision? If you have a vision, you want to share it with me. Maybe you want to share it privately with me. I will hold you. I will hold you in my heart for your vision. I do that with my clients all the time. When they state vision for me from the very first meeting that we have, the free one, where I'm learning about you, like I ask you, what is your vision? Sometimes all people can say to me is, you know what? I just don't want this anxiety anymore. Or I don't want to be depressed anymore. I want to feel happier. If that's all it is, that's where we start. Some people have can actually share more. Like, I want a new house, or I need a different car, or, what is it that you want? I love helping people create the visions of their life. And I've watched my clients create things that have been miraculous, like truly miraculous. And we raised our children that way, to be able to believe in their dreams, believe in their visions. And when you're pressure free, that is the fast track to making vision happen. So I hope this is helpful. I just really wanted to bring it forward today because, again, I watched my son's vision come into action this morning. It just so inspired me. And I'm like, wow, I'm sitting on some visions and I need to put some teeth to them now and actually do what I need to do. So I wish you a really great rest of this weekend. If you're watching live, if you're watching this on the replay, whatever day of the week it is, you know what I wish for you. I wish you a beautiful pressure-free day.